So far in this course, we've used class names as our provider tokens. Remember that provider tokens are whatever we pass into the provide property. Sometimes we may want the flexibility to use strings or symbols as the dependency injection token. Let's say we provide a string value token coffee brands with use value we learned about in the previous lesson and set the value to an array of strings. How could we use this provider in our application now? So far we've mostly seen how to inject a provider using the standard constructor-based injection pattern, like the one here. But for us to be able to use this standard pattern, it's required that the dependency is declared with a class name, because that is how Nest does a lookup for the dependency in the IOC container. Our coffee brand's custom provider uses a stringed value token. So how can we inject it? With these types of providers, we can simply use the inject decorator, which takes a single argument, being the token that needs to be looked up. Now we are able to use coffee brands and access that array of values we passed into this provider. It's important to point out here that while we directly use the string coffee brands inside the inject decorator, it is a best practice to define tokens in a separate file that can be used throughout the application. That way, we could simply import it here, avoiding costly mistakes such as typos or issues when we need to make changes or refactor our application in the future. So let's make a new file named coffees constants in our coffees directory. In our new file, let's add export const coffee brands. Now we can head into both our coffee service and coffee module and replace the string we were using and import this const instead. As you can see, we want to treat these string tokens as you typically would any other symbols, enums, etc., and define them in their own files so you can import them wherever they might be needed. For testing purposes, let's add a little console log in our coffee service constructor so we can make sure it's working properly. Let's open up our terminal and start up our application. And when it's finished building, we should see our array of strings show up.